Hello there, my beautiful movie peeps. Thank you so much for clicking on an episode of SideFlick. My name is Chris. Let's dive into some movie news. Some of the things we're going to be talking about here today, guys, is we have the announcement of some cast members added on to the new Ghostbusters sequel. We got an idea of when we can expect the Blue Beetle trailer and if the movie's going to fail as hard as Shazam did, as well as some brand new set photos of Lady Gaga on the set of Joker 2 in her Harley Quinn makeup. That along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. Timestamps will be in the description. But with that out of the way, let's jump into our first movie news story here today, starting with Blue Beetle. You know, there's a lot of concern for the upcoming DC movies being released in 2023 because we don't know if they're all going to perform as badly as Shazam 2 did. I'm someone who liked Shazam 2. I was entertained by it, and it was kind of sad to see it flop. I feel like a big reason for that is because a lot of the movie-going audience who see those movies know they're about to reboot this universe. They're about to start fresh. Why even try and get myself attached to these characters if you're going to replace them? And I don't know about you, but to me, I feel like Blue Beetle is kind of immune to a lot of this DC shakeup. But then again, I am in my small niche community of movie fans and also someone who's been looking forward to Blue Beetle ever since I saw him in Brave and the Bold and Young Justice. I'm not sure how Grandpappy and your auntie who don't follow the movie news are excited to see Latino Blue Beetle go out there. But we'll get our first idea of the general public's consensus on whether they'll want to check out this movie because George Lopez himself took to social media to post a picture with some cast members of the movie, captioning it, "The Beatles. So excited for this one. Trailer coming soon, and you're gonna love it. Stay tuned." Ochale, eh? I know, huh? I threw in those last two parts so you know it was from George Lopez. So while we don't have like an exact date of when this trailer is coming, the idea that the cast members are starting to announce trailer coming soon has a lot of people believing it'll be within the month of April that we'll get our first Blue Beetle trailer. Some even thinking it'll come out in front of the Mario movie since that's one of the biggest films being released that month. But again, my main point with this, other than us finally seeing the trailer and getting hyped for it, I wanted to throw out the question, do you think audiences will be hyped to see a brand new, basically unknown superhero on the big screen? Is the DC label kind of a deterrent right now for some audiences? I really hope not, because I think whatever the new DCU does, they are willing to make Blue Beetle a part of that since he feels so disconnected from everything else. But it's all going to be determining on that box office. If people don't go see this movie, if people don't go check it out, Blue Beetle ain't making that jump to the reboot. But this is where I throw it off to you guys. The Blue Beetle trailer is imminent. We're going to be getting it soon. How do you think general audiences are going to take the Blue Beetle character? Or even you as a fan, what are you expecting to see out of the Blue Beetle trailer? Talking a little bit about some horror movie news here, we got some exciting news for the upcoming Exorcist reboot that is set to release this year. You guys might have heard me talk about this already. Blumhouse got a 3-picture deal for the Exorcist films. They're going to be cranking them out, starting off with David Gordon Green, the person who directed the last 3 Halloween movies. And since these Exorcist reboots are going to be following the whole requel trend, where they'll be taking place immediately after the first movie and kind of ignoring all the other sequels, a lot of fans were wondering if an iconic character from the first movie, played by Linda Blair, will be making an appearance. And now we have some reports coming out that Linda Blair is set to make an appearance in the upcoming Legacy sequel. In a report, they have it here, Linda Blair will reprise her role as Regan McNeil. Above the Line has exclusively learned, sources say that Blair was only on set for a few days, so she's not in the film for much, but her return to the franchise should make fans' heads spin with excitement. And I thought this was another interesting topic to bring up amongst horror fans. Do we really care? Or will it make a difference if Linda Blair is in it? Now, before you get all mad at me for even muttering those words, I know, blasphemy, right? Of course, I think Linda Blair being involved in The Exorcist is a right move right there. She's an iconic part of that first film, and if this movie is going to be following in the steps of her story, it would make sense that she's at least part of her new story. But at the same time, just again, bringing it back to general audiences, not people always in our circle of space here, because they're the ones that spend the real money and determine whether these films get sequel or not. Is Linda Blair's involvement big enough to fans out there going, oh, I gotta see this now? When I think of returning final girls or iconic characters in the franchise, number one I go to is like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. I mean, there has been a track record. If you have Jamie Lee attached to a Halloween movie, it's gonna make more money than a film without her in it. I would love to say Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell being attached to a Scream movie would be a huge draw to a Scream film, but I mean, we just had that being proved wrong. And don't even get me started on that Texas Chainsaw reboot where they brought back the original final girl in there. No offense, nobody nobody cared about that, and she was honestly wasted in that film. So now here with this Exorcist reboot, continuing on with that requel trend of bringing back that legacy character in here, is Linda Blair one that makes you jump up and down. I think it really would have for me if she played a bigger role in this movie, because if they're saying she was only on set for a few days, it sounds like a cameo, maybe towards the end of this movie, and maybe she'll play a larger role in the sequel or the next film. Other than that, you guys have known my stance. I'm not even a big fan of Exorcist / paranormal kind of movies. They don't do it for me, especially ever since The Exorcist came out. There have just been dozens and dozens of wannabe Exorcist films that are this new one, I'm hoping, does something exciting, fresh, and different in the world and isn't just piggybacking off the name The Exorcist. That's where I throw it off to you guys, though. Linda Blair attached, that's still exciting. How do you guys feel about that? And is this a legacy character being attached that makes you excited? Moving on here, talking about some Ghostbusters. It wasn't that long ago we were just talking about the first set photo from the Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel. They've started filming this thing. The movie will be set in New York. We're going back to that original firehouse, most likely opening it and having new Ghostbusters put on the proton packs and suits to fight some ghosts. And it looks like we have our first look at who these new people putting on the suits will be. Deadline here has it reported that Kumail Nanjiani and Patton Oswalt among newest additions to the cast of Ghostbusters Afterlife. With the addition of Nanjiani and Oswalt, we also have Emily Allen Lind and UK comedian James Acaster. I wish I was more familiar with these two. From what I was seeing online and the buzz amongst fans, James Acaster seems to be a really funny comedian that a lot of people overseas are happy to see him be part of this film. So I guess we could pretty much expect him to be some sort of comedic relief in the movie. But getting on to the ones I am more familiar with, Kumail Nanjiani and Patton Oswalt, great additions. Now, I think it's going to be hard to assume that all four of them are new Ghostbusters that actually put on the suits and proton packs and start fighting ghosts. Some of these actors could just be supporting cast members. One of them could be the new mayor of New York. The other one could be the secretary for the Ghostbusters. A love interest who doesn't even put on the proton pack, or the beautiful next door neighbor like Sigourney Weaver was in the original movie. But if I had to put my money on which of these new four actually is going to be recruited as a new Ghostbuster, it's Kumail Nanjiani. The man is funny and musculared out. I think that's some traits you kind of need to Ghostbust. But I think more that he has this comedic background, and I think that's what the original Ghostbusters were. They were comedians who took on these action kind of roles, which I think would also make it a good candidate for why James Acaster could also probably be a new Ghostbuster. He has a comedic background. Patton Oswalt, to me, maybe could end up being a Ghostbuster here, but I feel like he has done a lot of voice work lately. He might be the voice of some new ghost out there, do some motion capture for a new ghost entity we might see. Either way, I think these are great additions, and it'll be really cool to see them in the Ghostbuster world. I even want to look at the announcement Kumail Nanjiani had whenever it got confirmed that he'll be part of the movie. He said here, Ghostbusters was my first favorite movie. I remember exactly how I felt the first time I watched it. Horror and comedy in one movie? This movie was made for me, and I watched it over and over. The script is unbelievably good. I can't believe I get to be part of this world. So yeah, we have kind of a nice roundabout Ghostbusters cast. Here are these new set of people and the people we can expect to return from the last Ghostbuster movie: Paul Rudd, McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard. I still think this second movie is going to be more of a traditional Ghostbuster film with them actually doing some hunting around the city that'll be more likened to the first two original Ghostbuster movies. But this is where I throw it off to you guys. That's just my speculation looking at this cast. We'll find out in a couple of months who each person ends up being. What's your speculation for which actor or cast member will be a new Ghostbuster and which will just be a supporting cast member? Would love to hear it down below. But okay, bringing us here to some set photos involved with Joker 2. They are still hard at work with filming this thing, getting set to be released October of 2024. And one thing a lot of us have been wondering about ever since it got announced, Lady Gaga will be playing Dr. Quinzel in Joker 2 is, oh, she's gonna go Harley Quinn. That means we're getting a new rendition of a Harley Quinn look that'll be separate from Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn look. What's that gonna look like? Look. And well, we now have our first official look here to Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn look. Simple, straight to the point. I dig it. She's not gonna go heavy with the makeup on the actual face. I think they'll just do that kind of pale look that they already have with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, except they're gonna add these sort of lines on the eyes, kind of a little reminiscent Joaquin Phoenix Joker does with some lines on his eyes. We also gotta mention the checkered pattern shirt that she's gonna be wearing. Harley Quinn has always kind of been leaning into that checkered pattern look, the touches of red. This honestly is a really cool look for Harley Quinn here. I dig it. What I'm most interested to see in this movie is her transition into Harley Quinn, and whether she ends up becoming, a lover of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, or they go with the storyline that they're toxic for each other, that they shouldn't be around each other. We also got to talk about this scene that they're currently filming right now. It seems like a bunch of people protesting that they should let the Joker go. We got set photos here of people in Joker masks holding up little clown noses up to their nose. One sign in particular saying "Free Joker." And if you actually want to look a little more carefully, there's another sign here that says Dent is a clown, kind of pointing that Harvey Dent might be a character that shows up in Joker 2, expanding further out this whole Batman spin-off world. This kind of opens our eyes a little bit more to what we're seeing here. It looks like Joker might end up going back to prison at some point, while Harley Quinn is still out in the real world rallying out people to come rescue him and get him out. And Harvey Dent could be the one who prosecuted him to stay there, to be like, this guy's dangerous, look at y'all, y'all's in a cult right now, we can't let this man free. Again, that's just speculation for right now, but it's cool that they're expanding further this world, and who knows how much further they take it, because I wouldn't be surprised Joker 2 is the last one of this spin-off universe. Back to the point at hand here, I think Harley Quinn looks great in the outfit. It has some iconic imagery to Harley Quinn. It doesn't clash too hard with Margot Robbie's look, and there's even an option for it to evolve throughout the movie. I mean, Joker didn't really get into his full outfit until the very, very end. For all we know, there could be a couple more outfits here in line for Harley Quinn. This is where I throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about Lady Gaga's look for Joker 2? But that is all movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.